Hello, how are you guys doing? We're back at it with more creepypasta reading. Sorry, I was dead for a majority today. I just woke up and I'm like, holy crap, I am dead. I couldn't get up, I couldn't do stuff. No Fred today. I didn't try contacting him. I don't know why I was gonna say that I did. I didn't. So we got, I think we already read this one. So I'm still going through the list that Disaster Buy made and sent me. I think we already read the vending machine, so I think we're gonna skip that one. We're just gonna read a couple because I'm still dead, but you know, alive enough that I could stream a bit. I think I might just skip streaming tomorrow and then come back to it and have a real banger Killer 7 stream on Friday, because that's the thing that everyone's really looking forward to, and I gotta make sure that I'm able to actually pull that off. And right now I just feel dead, but also I feel guilty if I don't stream, because it's just like, man, this is how you make yourself happy. That one is a different vending machine SCP, really. How many SCPs that are involving vending machines? This is 261. We're all dead inside? All right, well, there's that. But hey, check this out. Here's the one that we're gonna read, I guess. I need to zoom in. Right, that is a thing. Okay, is that too zoomed in? Let me try wiggling it over. And then... Hey, listen, I appreciate you guys. Was it on stream that I was telling you guys about? No, I think it was just I was talking to my wife about. My first job I had was working at a bakery at Randall's, and the manager of that department was so not into doing his job that he actually had it, like, this is a thing in like the 90s and 2000s. Giant neon see-through inflatable chairs, and he snuck one in. He snuck one past like the entire store, inflated it in the back room where all the bread and stuff is made, and then he would just hang out and listen to the radio because, like, you know, YouTube wasn't at that point yet. I distinctly remember calling you. Was on radio play, so it was right around then, and it doesn't matter if they're comfortable or not, I don't think. I mean, he didn't have to do his job. He would just kind of sit in the back and order me to do everything, and that was a life-changing moment for me. I tried to bite through my tongue because I was just like, holy crap, I want to leave. It didn't really occur to me that, like, yeah, I mean, that gets you off of work, but also you could die, but on the plus side, I wouldn't have to work at Randall's anymore. So anyway, I'm not a fan of working retail, I guess is what I'm saying. So thank you guys on the flip side for subscribing to me and supporting me and recommending me to friends and all the things you guys do. I love this job, I really do. But I needed to I want to make sure that I do a good job at it as well. We'll keep you out of retail. Thank you guys. Yeah, it turns out that it's actually really hard to do that. And I don't recommend it because there's a lot of like blood flow going through your tongue. It's like an appendage that does a whole bunch of weird stuff, right? When you think about it. I went ahead and set up like a track, by the way. Here's what I made. It's literally just like all these like random, like, easy on the cut, and that says cut. I decided to use it because it was funny. Then we got we got stuff like that, and then I just extended it all the way. And this gets you good, creepy, atmospheric music like every time with no trying. Could I make better stuff? Yeah. Yeah, I could. But I didn't want to actually spend any time doing it. So there you go. This apparently is not the one that we've read before. So we'll give it a go. This is SCP-261. Well, I mean, like, I can make ambient sound better, and it's like it's ambient music. I think part of the point of ambient music is that you don't really pay attention to it. Oh, thank you, Timbird, but I ignored that so that way I could just burn out my eye holes. But anyway, this is SCP-261 and is object class safe. Any access to SCP-261 must be approved by staff with level 2 security clearance or higher. Any and all items dispensed by 261 must be recorded along with the amount of money entered and the time elapsed between uses. Currently, 261 may only be used 10 times in a 24-hour period. No transaction exceeding the equivalent of 500 Japanese yen. Testing approved by Site Command is not under these restrictions. Okay, so you can use it more than that, but only from Site Command. Okay. Items dispensed by 261 should be reviewed by site health and safety officials before consumption. Failure to do so raises the foundation of any obligation regarding negative effects. Items deemed dangerous or useful to research will be confiscated by site security, with financial compensation provided in proportion to money spent. 261 appears to be a large black vending machine with no front glass panel and a small keypad on the right side. 261 was recovered in Yokohama, Japan. 261 was brought to the Foundation's attention after the investigation of an urban legend about a magic vending machine that was circulating the internet. 261 was found in a back alley behind a large shopping center with handwritten signs saying "out of order" in Japanese taped on it. SCP-261 has no marks or identification of any kind. No locals remember when or how it came to its current location. Internally, 261 appears to be a basic vending machine. Okay, so they have opened it. I kind of like back when, you know, early SCPs were just weird objects. But that being said as well, I think someone kind of, I don't know, I think we kind of figured it out last time that it's very much like, oh man, the 80s had such good music. And it's like, no, just the music you remember. Just the music you think about when you think about 80s music was good. A majority of it was actually bad. That's why we don't listen to more than like a dozen or so songs that are actually, you know, any good. It's the nostalgia, and it's, you know, selected and curated through time. I think it's the same thing with SCPs. Like, older SCPs seem better because you've already read a lot of them and you ignore all the bad ones. You forget about the bad ones. So it doesn't mean that they were any better or worse. They had a different style. But yeah, I do like the fucked up objects over the long stories because it gives you so much time to just think about, like, what would I do with this weird thing, you know? But anyway, let's see. It appears to be a large black vending machine. The beverage. Okay, there we go. It appears to be a basic vending machine equipped to vend food and beverage items. After a key was made, the front door opened. No abnormal materials were found. It was determined that 261 has never actually contained any food or beverage items. The keypad, while connected and operating correctly, does not activate any of the dispensing mechanisms. Money placed into 261 and a 3-digit number is entered into a keypad. SCP-261 will vend a random item. 261 has not accepted any currency other than yen and rejected currency being deposited in the coin return slot. It is unknown how these items appear. However, 261 will not operate when the door is open or when recording devices are placed inside. The number entered on the keypad has no effect on the item vended, nor any pattern has been identified. Items are always some form of snack food. typically have bright, attention-grabbing packaging. 261 is capable of operating with no external power supply, but operation in this state will cause unstable vending to occur more quickly than normal. If SCP-261 is used several times in a short period of time, or a large amount of money is entered before items are vended, 261 will start to dispense bizarre items. While still food, their suitability for human consumption is often non-existent. Fun. Coke Zero, sure. Packaging is in English, so 800 yen is entered for each item. Items being dispensed for 2 minutes. 261 attached to power. All right. Cheetos, a small bag of Cheetos. Packaging is in English. Black. Single pack of caffeinated chewing gum. Has anyone here had black? If you're an anime nerd, you have. It's not good, right? It's like very dry. I remember it just being like, oh, sort of like, it kind of tastes like when, you know, gum kind of runs out of its taste. It kind of tastes like that from the get-go, from what I remember. I mean, that was like, you know, 18, 20 years ago that I last had black, but I haven't had any really like reason to get more, so. Cheetos are cheese-flavored packing peanuts to me. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah. Yan, a single yan cone with peach dipping frosting, packaging in Japanese. The Meiji Sekia company does not produce this flavor. Pepsi Dragon Twist, a can of Pepsi Cola with a trace of fruit flavor, packaged in English. Flavor is identified as dragon fruit. PepsiCo does not produce this product. Dark Side Cola, can with clear sides, packaging in Japanese. Liquid on the inside is clear. When opened, the liquid appears to react to the air, changing to dark black over a period of several seconds. The black coloration looks like billowing smoke and cannot be reversed. The liquid's taste is described as cola with something spicy in it. That sounds awful. So I guess you kind of just like, if you want consistent good things, you're just not getting it. You're gonna get some weird shit, and that's what you get to eat. All right, the Little Bakery 7 grain, a small tube the size of a candy bar with a green button made out of aluminum, packaged in English. When the top is twisted off, a massive dough is extruded. The dough contains several enzymes and bacteria that have not yet been identified. On contact with air, these cause the dough to rise and bake, killing the microbes in the process, producing a small round loaf of bread weighing 250 grams. Taste is described as good but chewy. That's awesome, man. I love that. Just auto cooking bread. Isn't canned bread a thing? I'm pretty sure it doesn't work like that, but you know. Lemon clams, a thick plastic baggie with plastic tube on the side containing water and 12 clams packaged in Dutch. Following on package instructions, the plastic tube was cracked like a glow stick. Liquid in the bag flashed to steam. Soldiers already fed the cats. Venting from the hole that popped it open in the top of the bag, slightly burning. One researcher, steaming finished after 38 seconds after the clams were found to be fully cooked and infused with a mild lemon flavor. On investigation, the clams matched no recorded species. Do I think that canned bread is a thing because of SpongeBob? Oh my god. Okay, no, it is a thing. Canned bread does exist. But... I mean, you know... I suppose if you really want bread... this is a SpongeBob reference. There was an episode where Squidward moves into a Squidward town and everyone's a Squidward. It's very gentrified, really bizarre. And this looks bad, man. I wouldn't eat it. I mean, they were just talking about like freshly cooked bread from a can sort of contraption, and this ain't it, Chief. The Squidward ethno state. Unironically, this is basically what happened in that episode, and he eventually realized that he needed to have his friends. Giant Ghost, a can containing an instance of SCP-2107, packaged in English. Testing on this instance produced a similar result to other contained instances of 2107. This marks the first time that 261 has vended another SCP object. Unknown, a small mesh bag filled with small multicolored pyramids, passing in an unknown language. The pyramids found are found to be very hard and unpleasant tasting compared to chalk in taste and consistency. When placed in hot water, pyramids open and produce strings that quickly dissolve, coloring the water the same shade as the pyramid. The water had no additional taste, but testing revealed a sharp increase in mineral, carbohydrate, and protein content. Several minerals identified at the present time. The content was found to be consistent with the recommended daily intake of nutrients for adult humans. Researchers ingesting the water reported stomach cramps 2 hours later, but no other effects. What's the theme of this stream? We're reading some creepypasta SCP stuff. Would I drink the pyramid water? I was kind of thinking like Soylent was like a thing. Did the Soylent company go out of business? Like, I think it was literally called Soylent. Yeah. I mean, I think it's soy, so I can't have it, but I do enjoy the idea of just like, you drink it, you drink it and it's food. Like that sounds cool, but 12 bottles for $40. Jesus Christ. I mean, who knows what the fuck this is made out of, but I like the idea of not eating. I like eating, don't get me wrong. I just don't, I don't like having a physical form. It's too much upkeep. I did pull up this one so that way I can check it in a minute, but yeah, I like a lot of the concepts of eating, but I don't like a lot of the parts of eating. Like, I don't like, what do you mean you like eating but you don't like having to eat? Yeah, I like the taste of food, but I don't like having to take care of food or deal with it, you know? I will happily eat rice and chicken like every day just to get like basic nutrition, and then just not actually try anything. That's a controversial statement. You like food? Yeah, I mean, just like rice is good. I like rice, you know? It's carbohydrates, so it's not really like a balanced meal. You need to have vegetables and stuff, but my god, it's so much fucking... maybe it's just like me being lazy, but I just don't like... I don't like having to stop what I'm doing either to go eat, you know? I'm like not a picky eater at all. At least I don't like to think that I am. I give everything a try once, unless if the consistency is slime and the color is like gray. Like, if you have either of those things going on, like, I don't care if it's like the best fucking food ever, like, that's gonna be an automatic turn off. So the idea of a all-in-one food source, I mean, like, with this and like the Soylent thing, I have a feeling that like you just shit liquid, right? Like, because like part of the issue here is that Worth mentioning that stuff from the Soylent Company is notorious for extremely poor quality control and shipping expired or improperly sealed products that give customers diarrhea. Yeah? I mean, I'm not 100% surprised by that, because I remember when I was working at GameStop, they brought some, they brought in, like, Soylent for us to, like, try, and then maybe try and have, like, a vending area or whatever we could vend drinks. We had no capability to do that shit at all, but they were like, yeah, try these out, and they just sort of, like, sat in the trash area. Like... There's just like this stain on the carpet where all the trash gets like piled up until it's too high where you can't get in and out of the back room, and then someone has to take it all over the back. Make it, I mean, like, it's fine, I'll eat. I'm just talking about like the idea of like when you play D&D, I've talked about this a billion times, but when you play D&D, the idea is like, most of the time, I think a lot of people are playing power fantasies of like being a cooler version of themselves, right? I play a lot of monks because I like the idea of having no physical needs or wants, and that if I want to become a weapon, I can be a weapon at any time with nothing in my hands, which is more than likely how I'm actually going to like run into conflict. So that sounds cool to me, you know? I don't want to age. I don't want to eat. I don't want to sleep. I don't want to drink anything. I just want to like survive consistently without doing anything. That's not exclusive to monks anymore due to unarmed, something like boxer class playstyle in Morrowind. Sure. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right, this thing. Aluminum box with a small glass window on the side, round button on the top. Packaging is in an unknown language. Box is seamless. It appears to be filled with small round animal covered in fur, each with 3 small paws and a single large eye. Pressing the button causes the inside of the box to become superheated, cooking the small animal alive. Muffled noises and scratching were heard for several seconds during the cooking process. After 1 minute 30 seconds, the front panel opens and gives access to the now cooked animal. Professor Kane volunteered to eat the animal with no other researcher willing to do so. That's what D class is for, man. Described as crunchy and very spicy with a small hint of beef. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's a fucking choice. I would not eat anything out of an SCP. I'll be honest with you. Like, there's a lot of these SCPs where it's like, oh yeah, it's safe, and then at some point they're like, actually no, this thing is actively malicious and will try and kill you. It's hiding razor blades in the food now. Like you can't order anything out of it, or it's all like, you know, like poisoned or something, and it's just like, oh man. Anyway, oh, and you know how there was that fella on the roof? We saw the fella. We saw the fella today. We went out to go do some stuff today. There's like a little fella in the walls, right? So they've been putting out traps, and one of the traps, a live trap, not like a killing trap, caught it. It was this cute little mouse, like about the size of a tennis ball, and it was just like, ah, fuck, I guess I'm stuck in here. It was cute. I mean, he was outside. I mean, it's like comfortable temperature out, but I made sure to let the front office know that, hey, you got a fella here. He's cute. Take care of him, you know, like let him go into an environment where he's safe to go, you know? Because the pest control that they go with are like non-kill, which is good, Because, like, when you've got, like, a fella in the walls, you're like, get this fucker out of here. But as soon as you see the fella, you're like, oh, man, he's kind of cute. Maybe golf... between golf ball and tennis ball sized. It's probably a rat, then? I don't know, man. I didn't check the tail. That's the way you tell, right? I don't know. He was friend-shaped. Tilda was very concerned about it. Professor Kane volunteered to eat this random fucking thing. All right, a tall, thin aluminum can, packaging in an unknown language. Opening the can caused a chemical reaction with the liquid inside the can. Liquid was apparently not intended for oxygenated atmosphere and detonated violently, causing several injuries and killing 2 researchers. Testing discontinued. Area cleared. Testing area observed to smell like citrus for several days. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, why would you eat this, man? Like, sometimes it's totally chill. It gives you like Soylent Green or like a weird flavor of yams. That's great. But sometimes it just kills you. You know? Like, that's how SCP is. Like, anyway, it mentioned Diet Ghost? So we're gonna read what Diet Ghost is. All instances of 2107 are to be stored in a CNSI containment, compact, non-sentient, inert containment lock. So literally just a box. You're talking about a box. Any number of instances, locker at... I mean, it feels like it's a little bit redundant to say... I mean, that's literally compact, non-sentient, inert containment locker. That's a box. Okay. Site 19. Any number of instances may be moved to a your refrigerator. You're moving them from the locker to a refrigerator in advance of experimental trials. Okay. Mobile Containment Task Force Theta 61 carbonated-based life forms is now responsible for coordinating routine screenings for new instances of 2107 at retail venues, which are considered probable locations for appearances. Newly discovered instances that are required by conventional methods when possible for larger quantities or in cases where retailer proprietor is deemed to become problematic. Acquiring protocols 0014, covert theft, overt threat or theft, or impersonation of a federal agency may be utilized with authorization from staff with security clearance of 3/2107 or higher. Okay. Individuals exposed to the anomalous properties of 2107 are be treated with the Class A amnestic and remitted to the nearest civilian hospital for medical care rendered necessary following exposure. SCP-2107 designated a soft drink brand Diet Ghost, which displays an anomalous property when imbibed. You drink it. Animal testing pending approval. The soda is a date only been encountered packaging by the individual can. Within 7 minutes of ingestion, subjects begin to experience paranormal activity that often falls within colloquial expectations of an individual being haunted by a ghost or other paranormal entity. The effect continues until an yet undetermined point in the breakdown of the 2107 within the subject's body, approximately 1 to 3 hours after ingestion. Researchers have confirmed that the intensity of the haunting effect, herein referred to as the quality of the individual paranormal facets, the probability of physical harm, and the severity of said harm is directly proportional to the quantity of the ghost soda. So if you drink it, you get haunted for approximately 3 hours. It's like a bad edible. Yeah. This is what you get when you buy like real like bargain basement shit. Like when you go to that drug dealer who's got like the shit that's always laced. And you're like, yeah, I just feel like having a bad day. A canned bad trip. SCP-2107 cans are a traditional variety used for soft drinks, being uniform in design and non-anomalous in composition and behavior. The can features a light blue background with Diet Ghost logo prominently featured. The catchphrase "Scare Your Thirst" appears beneath the logo. Most instances have a sticker on the can with the text "Made with Natural Ghost" printed on it. It's unclear if the cans lacking the sticker were distributed this way or if the sticker was removed for acquisition. The cans bear no nutritional information. The liquid contents are anomalous in chemical composition within normal parameters for a traditional diet soft drink. So it's literally just a normal diet soft drink, but sometimes no, all the time when you drink it, you get ghosts. Also, it has to be diet? Okay. Additional discovery occurred on 5/13/2012 when 7 cans of it were purchased by Foundation personnel at a local supermarket during a routine restocking of Site 19's recreational facilities. Partial remains of so-and-so, a senior maintenance assistant at Site 19, were found inside the van requisitioned from the Site 19's vehicle pool for the purposes of this trip. 2 cans were open and the empty contents were recovered. Someone, the junior maintenance assistant who had been assigned with them for restocking duty, had gone back to the supermarket after having forgotten to procure a copy of the receipt for purchase for Foundation records. According to them, the account alone was no longer than approximately 5 minutes. A majority of discoveries occurred in convenience stores, with associations from supermarkets and restaurants accounting for nearly all additional cases. Footnote here says, despite the assessment of at least 46 anomalous events suggesting the ingestion of 2107 as the causation factor, markedly few instances have been recovered outside of retail environments. I mean, I guess, like, yeah, they show up. This feels very much like a, oh God, what's the name of, that weird shop that's in Vegas that we watched a whole thing on? It reminds me of something that would be there. Omega Mart, thank you. Yes, it feels like an Omega Mart thing. Or Meow Wolf. Dude, we're gonna try and, like, hit up, a Meow Wolf location. I think that's gonna be part of our honeymoon thing, is try and go to one. Probably not the one in Vegas, because I don't really want to go to Vegas, because I mean, I like a little bit of random chance, and I do like winning. I like it when I win. I just don't like it when I lose. Warning, it's like $70 for tickets to just walk into a fucking store? There's a new one in Denver and a new one in New Mexico. Grapevine, Texas as well, right? You could just go to Vegas and not go to the casino. Who the fuck goes to Vegas and not hit up a casino or a titty bar or something? And I don't really want to go to the titty bar, you know? Like, I wouldn't mind playing, like, dice and cards and stuff, but I don't know. My brother was telling me he went a little while back, and you expect it to be like the movies where all these people are around, like, card tables and stuff, but it's like, it's just like video game poker and stuff like that. Like, just people at slot machines. It's like, oh. Okay. The junior maintenance assistant who had been assigned with blank for the restocking duty had gone back into the supermarket after forgetting to procure the thing. Okay, a majority of discoveries had been discovered professed no prior knowledge of the product's existence, and records of inventory acquisition show no references to SCP-2107. They have now been recovered from retailers in 37 states and 2 Canadian provinces. Production and distribution of 2107 is currently under investigation. Area blank personnel. Okay, so this is our abridged experiment logs. Addendum 1227 2014, area probably 19, right? Because that's where they've been keeping this shit. Well, maybe not. That's area, not site. Okay, area blank personnel have encountered and acquired previously undiscovered packaging variant. 15 cans were produced by a vending machine in the area blank's cafeteria. When the machine was opened for further inspection, no anomalous properties were discovered. The new instances of 2107 featured changes in the design and background, which now features a new white silhouettes of tombstones, cats, and cartoonish ghosts interspersed with iterations of the logo. Of note is the addition of new stickers that can be in the same font. As the catchphrase text, these stickers include new promotional phrases including "from the makers of Ghost" and 100% more spooky and "Scarisfaction guaranteed" or "your old favorite is back." Click the logs. Okay, I'll click on that in just a second. Let me read this real quick. All instances, I didn't realize that was clickable, but you're right. I was just like, well, I don't have level 2 security clearance, so I guess I won't click that. Oh, man. Like I said, I'm dead on my feet today. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. All instances of 2107 from area blank are en route to Site 19 for containment and research trials to confirm whether the contents produce the same anomalous activity as previously recorded instances. Addition of vending machines to the list of purveyance locations under investigation with revisions to the object class and special containment procedures awaiting approval. So what? This is like dangerous, assuming you're... I mean, I feel like this is probably safe as long as you don't end up like drinking shit, man. Like, you could just, I mean, isn't like the way they figure out whether or not like what class it is based on how hard it is? It's a fucking, I mean, I guess it like appears randomly and more appears. This feels, I guess that's how it's Euclid or however you pronounce that. Maybe it's in here. Each experiment was carried out using 1 D-class personnel, isolated in a standard human activated or active containment cell with a closed circuit digital recording, unless otherwise specified. No individual class D subjects is used for more than one trial. Extraneous, unsubstantial, and redundant results have been omitted for brevity. A full version can be found at the 2107 extended report. All right. Duration of trial was 1 minute 12 seconds or an hour and 12 minutes. I don't know which. Subject reportedly reported visual phenomena, including hearing her own name spoken softly, shadowy figures at the edges of her vision, and flickering of the lights. With the containment chamber was not collaborated by recorded footage. Debriefing revealed the subject to have enjoyed the experience overall. Subject described the taste of SCP-2107 as bland but refreshing. Yeah, safe means it can be contained easily, right? Not that it's capable of, because like the vending machine that we just read, 261, that was considered safe, but it would like literally like blew up like a bomb at one point. I think the reason why it's this high of an object class is because they can't get all of them. If there was only 1 can of this in existence, it'd probably be classed as safe. Yeah, I think a gun, if it was an SCP, would be considered safe because you could lock it into a cabinet, turn on the safety, put on, you know, they've got child guards, lock the cabinet that it's in, and then, you know, there you go, it's safe. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to do anything unless if you fuck with it. It's safe. Euclid in this case means there's no real way to stop the distribution of this, even if the object itself is harmless. Yeah. All right, trial number 6, 90 milliliters. Subject experienced intermittent activity similar to the phenomenon in previous experience over an hour before new phenomenon or effects presented. At 1:20, the subject began to experience moderate bleeding from the nose without identifiable physical cause. Simultaneously, the recording equipment began to encounter interference of a magnetic nature that lasted for 2 minutes. This is noted as the first instance where the activity was observable by non-SCP-2017 sources in Foundation trials. The bleeding contributed unabated for several minutes, causing severe distress to the subject. Effect ceased at 1:28. Can you imagine being like put in this situation? Like you're locked in, like, I don't know, you're on death row, and then like you get transferred to another prison, you think, and then they take you out of your prison, and there's some like nerd in a lab coat, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna need you to drink this. And then he pours out a soda, and he pours out 30 milliliters of it. Do you know how much 30 milliliters is? Like, that's fucking nothing. This can of Coke that I'm drinking right now, right? It's 355 milliliters, right? Okay, so that means that 1/10 of this can, roughly, a little bit less, is... enough to, they just pour like like 2 tablespoons. It's probably like a shot of soda. They're like, drink this, and you're like, okay. And then you have like a vaguely weird trip for like about a minute, and then it's done. The moon landing was faked. Ad played. What? What do you mean an ad for the moon landing was faked? Like, played. Like, I expect that on, like, YouTube. Especially late night YouTube, you get very fucking weird shit. You'll get, like, some, like, SoundCloud rapper going, yeah, here's my new album, listen to it. And it's, like, legitimately the worst thing you've ever heard in your fucking life. I don't know, I refreshed immediately. Can you link us the ad? I want those ads and not non-Christian dating ads. What ads am I getting? I'm getting this ad for Google, I think. Your conspiracy theory bit from a few streams ago backfired horribly. Oh. Oopsie. Okay, so here's another 90 milliliters guy. Sorry, I'm like rambling rather than, you know, reading. I assume it's not the actual reason. No. No ad agency put ads in Russia anymore. That's a cool bonus to living in Russia. I suppose if you're, you know, not selling shit to Russia, then there's no real point in spending ad money. Like, you're not importing shit to Russia. There's no point in, like, going, hey, buy our shit. Reverend Joe, thank you for the gift sub. 53 gift subs given out. You lunatic. Anyway, trial begins with the activity patterns identical to those described by the subject in trial 1. Subject nose began to bleed at the 19-minute or second mark, probably minute, considering that the yeah, because they said that it you know, the bleeding continued unabated for several minutes, causing severe distress in the subject. All effects ceased at 1 hour 28. Because they started bleeding in the last one at 1:20, so they bled for about 8 minutes, and then it stopped. So that's got to be hour and minutes. So anyway, the subject's nose began bleeding at the 19-minute mark. At 23 minutes, the subject began emesis. due to the combination of distress and nausea caused by the presence of their own blood. This is evaluated to be purely psychological in nature and non-anomalous. The following emesis, I've never heard of this word, majority of the activity ceased. Following that, a majority of the activity ceased. Subject reported having intermittent hallucinations in his peripheral visions until 48. They threw up. Okay. Emesis means threw up. Okay. And they're like, yeah, let's crank this shit up. Subject began to experience phenomenon similar to previous trials at 2 minutes, which rapidly increased in intensity. The lights in the cell are seen to be flickering briefly at 16 minutes by both the subject and supervising personnel. Subject reported that the feeling of being lifted off the ground during the effect, but is not visible in the footage. Quantity of the activity is approximate to the previous trials, but the level of intensity is significantly higher as reported by the subject. Effects began to subside at 54 minutes and had ceased entirely at 59. The subject observed the taste as average, but expressed difficulty on elaborating upon its description. You know, it kind of just tastes like diet soda. I'm sorry, I still can't get over the idea of them like pouring you half a glass of a Coke. Like they take a Coke can, they pour like half of it for you, and then it's like a totally normal average diet soda, and then for the next like hour you have the worst time of your life, and they come back in the room and they're like, what did this soda taste like? All right, and this is almost a full can. Subject experienced no activity until 31 minutes, at which point all electronics within a 10-meter radius failed for approximately 17 seconds. When the power returned, subject had fallen to the ground unconscious and the trial was ended. Personnel did enter the containment cell and confirmed the subject had expired. Upon autopsy, the subject's body was found to be void of most major internal organs. Whoa, wait, what? The subject's body was found to be void of most major internal organs. No incision marks or signs of trauma were present. Can I scroll down? I'm sorry. Again, actively hilarious that you like this one right here. This one right here, where they come into the room and they're like, what did the soda taste like? And you're like, there's fucking ghosts here, man. And they're like, yeah, but we'll get to that in a minute. What did the soda taste like? I love that. I love that so fucking much. All right, we got this one also from Disaster By, and it's Limbo. Yeah, apparently the ghosts stole organs, so I don't know how you ethically supply enough ghosts to be able to have an entire company's worth of Cokes. How many people die a day? I don't know, but like I feel like it's a little fucked up, you know? I mean, I guess if you put someone's soul in a can and you shake it real hard, that'll piss off the ghosts, and you can drink it. Site 6, okay, so this is 1461. Site 6 has been constructed around 1461. Task Force Lambda 30, Wisco Tango Foxtrot, or what the fuck, is on a permanent assignment to reinforce Site 6 security. Any unusual activity from Site from 1461 is to be, okay, so this one is dangerous apparently, or at least hard to contain, is to be reported to on-site level 4 supervisors who will implement a 1 daybreak procedures at their discretion. See Site 6 Standard Procedures Guide. Any operatives entering the SCP entering SCP-1461 should be fitted with NBCA, nuclear, biological, chemical, anomalous protection, and armed escorts. 1461 is considered a high priority target for organizations known as the Church of the Broken God, who have made some attempts to breach Site 6 and access SCP-1461 since 19 something or other. This is literally just the... This is control, isn't it? Okay, real quick. Sorry, back to the soda for a second. One of my favorite alcoholic drinks is like rum and coke. Or vodka and coke, depending, right? I'm just saying, like... What do you think of what do you think would happen? Like, would the ghosts get drunk? A vodka and coke. It's good, man. Has a bit of a kick to it. Tastes like a soda. It's nice. SCP-1461 is a English manor circa 1890 with attached sublevels. It came to the Foundation's attention in 1941 when the dwelling and its sublevel facilities vanished, then rematerialized after an 11-day period of absence. Surface portion of 1461 is a 2-level dwelling, 12 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3 studies, a main foyer, ballroom, a library, a kitchen, a pantry, basement. Most of these rooms were converted into simple barracks prior to the Foundation's acquisition and are believed to be dwellings for the cult. Site 6 staff have reinforced the structure and used the available space for house monitoring rooms. Security forces, no anomalous activities has ever originated from the manor itself. Sublevel facilities are accessible through the manor's basement. The layout and size of the sublevels facility have yet to been accurately measured due to the anomalous qualities of the facility and hostile entities within. The facility is constructed primarily from concrete, iron, and brass, but a number of exotic and unknown materials as well. The layout of the facility follows illogical routes and architecture. For example, the doorways open to solid walls or open chasms, stairwells ascend into open space, etc. So the Winchester House. Extensive damage is apparent throughout the facility. Certain sections have caved in and are filled with an unidentified gray sandstone that now exists nowhere in the Foundation expanded periodic table of elements. They have their own version of the periodic table of elements. Do not mix Red Bull with liquor. I know that's super popular in college, but holy shit. Let's just like give you all of the fucking energy and then also like let's make it so you can do stupid things real fucking fast. Like it's just a bad idea. Is the rent affordable? God no. I mean, it may be like an anomalous like secret class of thing, but nah. Hangover speedrun, seriously. Anomalous Void, $850 a month. Dude, I'd fucking stay there. How much is water and electric? Like, I'd fucking stay there. Okay, maybe I should continue reading this first before I say that. But I mean, honestly, I could, that's pretty good, you know? $850? Around here, it's, yeah. Water is included, hydro is extra. Also, what the fuck, hydro? What? What do you mean hydro? Do you mean electrical? Hydro is Are you Canadian? I forgot that's a thing. Canadians call electricity hydro. Apparently. I don't know. I've never seen anyone outside of Canada call it that. I actually have no idea why people call that. I think it's got to be like maybe like you guys just get your electricity from hydroelectric dams or something. Yeah, it's got to be like hydroelectric. Yes, we do. You have a lot of like water up there. Yeah, okay. Niagara Falls powers so much shit. I would imagine. Okay. Where were we? It is unknown whether or not the facility's erratic layout and artifacts were present prior to 1461's disappearance, or if they were introduced during said absence. Sublevel facilities are extremely hazardous, with extensive array of moving mechanical apparatuses, gearworks, pistons, steam pipes, and coolant tubes that lack appropriate safety measures. Machinery is maintained with a strategic placement of nozzles that dispense black mucus-like substance, which is highly corrosive to organic material, but also serves as a coolant and lubricant. Literally what? Highly corrosive, but also a lubricant. Seems like a weird choice of things, but okay. The subsections appear to be emitting strong gamma and X-ray radiation, registering 75 counts per second at their highest recorded reading. I have no idea how high that is. It's you know, corrosive to organic materials, but it just doesn't seem like the way to hurts people, not machines. I don't know. Acid lube. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, spicy lube. Okay. The source of the radiation is unknown, as none of the machinery appears to be constructed with or houses radioactive components. 1461 contains approximately 57 human entities, including 7 former personnel. Okay, so we're 50, and then they fucked up and added 7 more. Designated as SCP-1461-1, these entities, through an unknown process, have been augmented with crude mechanical implants in a as-yet unknown undiscovered section of SCP-1461. Each instance of that have been uniquely augmented with little uniformity between them, and a majority have been augmented with metallic teeth and claw-like protrusions on their hands, giving them lethal close-quarter combat capabilities. Other augmentations include iron bolts haphazardly grafted onto the subject's bones, severe reinforcement of the spinal column, and a replacement for one or more organs with prosthetic equivalents. Okay. This is SCP-1461. Disaster By called it Limbo. It has something to do with the Broken God cult, which is not something I know anything about, really. It's theorized that SCP-1461 itself may... Oh, wait, hold up. The people inside appear to possess no higher brain function or retain any sense of self, acting entirely on canine levels of instinct and intelligence. Instances stick to 1 or 2 unit groups, build easily hidden or defensible nests, and attempt to collect food cannibalized from one another or from intruding Foundation staff. All instances of 1461 are considered extremely hostile. What? Okay. What about shutting the door? That's my whole plan. That's it. Like, they need to eat, so just like shut the door. Eventually they'll starve. It is theorized that 1461 itself may command the people. Speaking tube system throughout the facility has been observed emitting loud metallic shrieks that cause the SCP-1461-1 to retreat from an area. In other encounters, a metallic odor defined to be blood filters through the ventilation system, drawing 1461 to the marked location. The frequency and accuracy at which the SCP-1461 scent marks areas currently occupied by Foundation personnel suggests some kind of guiding hostile intelligence. At least 4 instances of 1461 have received additional augmentation, replacing their esophagus and lungs with phonographic device powered by SCP-1461-1's own motions. These phonographs emit a constant, repeated stream of speech peppered with religious symbolism, but has provided no clues as to its creator or purpose. Addendum: according to the record from 1941, the manor was owned by someone and his family. A World War I veteran, Mr. Blank, was injured in the Battle of Somme and shipped to London Hospital shortly after the war's end. His experience appears to have profound psychological effect, giving him a nihilistic view of society. He constructed 1461 with the intent of somehow ending or escaping the world. More information can be extrapolated from his journals recovered from within inside of 1461. See evidence of the summary here. And it's believed that Mr. Blank had anywhere from 50 to 100 employees helping him with this task, a majority of whom eventually reorganized into a cult devoted to SCP-1461. An unknown number of these followers were present in SCP-1461 when vanished, along with Mr. Blank, his wife, 2 children. To date, only 6 of these individuals have been accounted for. Shortly after SCP-1460... Also, how are my audio levels? I had to switch out how I had my headphones set up, and it sounds louder than usual. I think I fucked up the front audio. Okay, it's good. Good. Okay. Shortly after SCP-1461 rematerialized, unknown individuals entered 1461 before Foundation agents could contain the site. These individuals are believed to be the members of his fellowship who had not been present in 1461 when it had vanished, successfully extracted a number of potentially anomalous artifacts that have been yet to be cataloged or recovered. Partial list of cataloged anomalous rooms. Of the 12 sub-levels discovered by Foundation personnel, only 75% of its layout has been properly mapped, and the unknown number of levels that are believed to exist further below. Each sub-level contains excavation, construction, and storage rooms, as well as rooms exhibiting safe or Euclid level anomalous qualities or artifacts. For a full list of the anomalous rooms, refer to document I-1461-current. Gel production, sublevel 3, an automated factory that melts down the unidentified gray sandstone into glass, forms these into canisters, and then fills them with green viscous gel made up of a variety of exotic chemicals. Some of these jars contain fully formed teeth and organs whose DNA patterns match nothing found on Earth. Most of these jars have become inert and their contents have decomposed. The gel production machine itself has been crushed by cave-ins. Okay, hold up. The Church of the Broken God is kind of similar to Mechanicus. That's what I keep thinking because I'm a fucking Warhammer nerd. But I also keep thinking of practice head. I saw this thing earlier today. It was fucking metal as shit. Yeah, I have no idea what the context of this thing is. It's apparently for like dental stuff, but look at this fucker. This thing is creepy as shit. I love it. It's that way you can learn about teeth or whatever as a dentist, but it looks like the most fucked, like that's gotta be an enemy in a game. You can't see it? What? Oh, you can't see it. Hold up. Here it is. Sorry. This thing. Look at this weird fucker I found today. Isn't this thing rad? It's like metal teeth so that we can learn how to be a dentist. I guess. I haven't looked significantly into this. I guess this was from the 1950s. They look metal as fuck. I want this as a headpiece. Buy it? Oh, they're $650. That's a little bit much for a thing that I don't need in any way, shape, or form. It's a little on the steep side. How many sub gifts is that? What was it, 650? Uh, 260 something sub stuff. Is Captain Dissolution? Yeah, honestly, get Captain Dissolution on that shit. Pipe hall, subfloor. Okay, so we got the gel production. Pipe hall, a hall lined with approximately 2,450 pipes, constructed from brass, iron, copper, gold, bamboo, carved jade, and data expunged. Some kind of substance that can be clearly heard being pumped through the pipes, but their origin and destination are unknown. Factory deliveries, sub-level 7, a large unlit warehouse filled with wooden crates of various sizes. Unlike other storage rooms, which contain mundane materials with non-anomalous sources, the crates in this section are blank or branded with factory deliveries. Regular patrols of the warehouse have revealed that numbers and arrangement of the crates changes, but as with the pipe hall, their origin and destination are unknown. On at least one occasion, muffled vocalizations could be heard coming from somewhere in the warehouse, but their source was never discovered. Come? Yeah, maybe. Orb room. We cannot contemplate the orb because it is data expunged. Speaking tube room. A multitude of brass speaking tubes connected to 1461 appear to converge in this room with a large central pulpit. The partial remains of a human female have been recovered here with evidence to suggest that the body, specifically the skin and intestinal organs, used to perform crude repairs of some damaged tubes. Catalyst room. A large room filled with random assembly of gears, cables, pulleys, screws, belts made of an amalgam of iron and tin and gold and other materials. Some of yet unidentified assembly has suffered extensive damage, with evidence that a large section, approximately 12 cubic meters, has been violently removed. The location of the section is unknown, and the elevated platform is suspended directly over the assembly. The platform features a metallic bed with the desiccated remains of a human male. The corpse's chest has been pierced by large syringes connected to a pumping machine. Design suggests that the pumped fluid extracted from the syringes into the missing portion of the machinery below. The regular 45-minute intervals, the assembly attempts to self-start, but the existing damage prevents its initialization. Friction heat buildup eventually results in an emergency shutdown that lasts until the machinery has cooled down enough to make another attempt. Item V2008-5 was recovered from the hospital bed. The worm again. Partial transcript from 1461 photograph recording. I am what you made me. I am choice, I am tyranny. Forgive me. I am then, I am now. What gods they will be then. I am evil, I am flesh, I am the trapped. I am the trapped. I am beauty, I am chaos. Children are selfish, I am the worm. I have broken God. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Holy shit, is this a ghost song? Yeah, no, we gotta like, someone crank out some ABBA under this. And then, yeah. I'm trying to sample you from a music knickknack. Could you please say come? Okay. Hold up. First off, 3, 2, 1, come. Jeffrey Eater King, thank you for the 5 months of support. No worries. Alright, so what is the worm? Oh my god, this is a long one. What the fuck is it? Wait, what is this order? Okay. Summary of evidence from recovery site V whatever. Day 14. I think it's important to provide context so future generations may recognize the urgency of my endeavor. In 1916, I enlisted in His Majesty's 15th Infantry Division, and in the bloody trenches of Europe, I witnessed proof of humanity's barbarism in the absence of God. Wounded in battle and wallowing in septic mud, the fever fell upon me, and with it came visions. In my nightmares, I saw a giant iron worm with jaws like that of a dragon devouring the fields of Europe. It had no teeth, but masses of grinding gears that tore flesh and stone to pulp. His voice was the roar of failing artillery. His breath the blistering poison of mustard gas. The damned souls were belching into the starless sky like smoke, lost into cold, indifferent void. This is banger, man. Nazi, thank you for the 40 months of support. For my second most watched streamer this year with my customary top used emote, which is Bree dancing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the resub. I have no memory of conscious actions during that time, but I found myself at the hospital in London. They told me the war was over, but the dreams did not leave. I would wake in a cold sweat filled with you have PTSD, my dude. Did you make an entire SCP because you had PTSD? Did you make a cult because you had post-traumatic stress disorder? I would wake in a cold sweat filled with purpose, hastily scribbling down designs that had been burned into my mind, strange and alien architectures that I did not recognize or understand. Finally, I returned home to my wife and children. Brave Simon and little Simone were a welcome escape from my fear, but my wife, Clarence, took notice. Shell shock, she called it. That's what they used to call PTSD, yes. The words on the lips of every veteran's wife and mother. I tried to explain my visions, which instilled fear into me, but she recorded as if I were a mere madman. If only that were the case. The children heed my warnings, however. They were rightfully afraid, yet it was not my intent. No, Simon. Do not fear the beast. No, Simon. Please do not cry. Father, will you not feed... Will you not... Father will not let you be fed to the worm. Schematics. There must be a secret to stopping the worms. I feel a connection. Familiarity that likens them to a great mechanical snare. With them, I will cage the beast. Okay. Several years later, day 825. So long in my workshop, so long in the belly of my father's home, free from prying eyes, working, ever building. My wife questions, but refuses to listen. Only my children heed. Only Simon understands. The finer son no father could want. A finer son no... Right, okay, I misread that. But the family's wealth is modest, and urgency that gives energy to my limbs also guides my thoughts. Through clever accounting, I can take advantage of the working class desperations. I may still seek an honest day's wages that do not question my motives, even if some show curiosity enthralled by my designs. A work Leonardo would envy, they say. There would be We are more than employer and labored. We are a growing congregation, seer who knows the truth, the evidence to spur the others forward. We make excellent time. They build, they forge, they dig, they repurpose, they reinforce, they laying pipes, wrapping connectors in rubber. On the surface, they speak of a great depression, economic and social despair. Below, I lay the foundation of a greater tomorrow. I smell the burning breath of the worm. It is close. We must hurry. How long is 2,398 days? Divided by 365 is 6.5 years. 365.25 to be more accurate. Yeah. I don't care. I've seen the puppet of the worm, a puppy Australian who commands power from the desperate Austrian, excuse me. Commands power from the desperate, and in despair, they hurl themselves on the grinding teeth of the worm. They call themselves masters of 1,000 years. I see his face in the newspapers and scream at his empty, hateful eyes. No one listens. No one sees. Nightmares have changed. Now there are more than mere soldiers on an apostate battlefield. Now there are prisons, camps of men and women and children, their flesh shriveled by cruelty and neglect. The worm feeds on them, and their souls are so weak they cannot even flee the heavenless sky. I fear for them, but I fear for my own children even more. In my dreams, I hear them crying on the battlefield. They call out for God, for their mother, for their father. Only I can answer. Day 2567. I think I know who the Austrian is. An Austrian from the 1920s who was, sounds like he had some sort of army or something. I don't know. I don't think there were any, I can't think of, like, I can't think of any off the top of my head. Anyone who matches that description. Gary? Oh, Gary! Right! Forgot about Gary. Thank you. Right. It's got to be Gary. Austria doesn't exist. Gary has 10 badges. Motherfucker. How did he get all the way there? Fucking Gary. Today, the vision came. I saw the worm eating the rotten flesh of a dead world. The stars had burned out. The sun bled into blackness until the only light was but a flickering candle, a torch held against oblivion. No Christian god holds that torch. No pagan worship, no politician or priest. I hold the torch. I stand with a snare, built of the iron of the earth and the blood of man. I bait the worm to its own doom. And then the next day, success, the worm is trapped. Hooray! That's also a thing you can say when you put on a condom, just so you know. Day 2569, nice. My victory was very short-sighted. The worm is caged but already unleashed a plague upon us. The bombs fall upon London. The war rages once more. The worm cries out from below, mocking me as it thrashes within its cage. The world is doomed. The work crew fears it, or maybe they fear me. Some want to leave, to fight for another pointless war for their homeland. Others stand behind me, terrified for what comes for us. How can we escape this rotting world and the locusts that devour it? Same day, I guess. I finally understand the purpose of my great machine. Not a cage, an engine, a device that dwarfs all measures of man's science, satanic magic, and God's miracles. A machine that will deliver us from oblivion. All I needed was a heart, a burning furnace to power it. How ironic that the worm that promised my doom is now the engine that will drive our salvation. The laborers who heeded my warnings have banded with me. Like a cult to its messiah, they gathered at my feet, and I am a dutiful shepherd, and I will guide them to paradise. Some resisted. I do not hate them. I do not hate the people of this ruined world. I pity them. It was all I could do to instruct my followers that a merciful death is preferable to the alternative. Those who would not come with us were better sent away by their kin than by some heartless enemy on the battlefield. I go to throw the switch of my great machine and free ourselves of the madness of the grave. Day 1 again? In one brilliant flash, my engine and the manor have delivered from the war-torn Earth to a new world. This place is like our own, but different in many ways. The gray mist swirls around the manor, free of the stink of gunpowder and urban decay. The manor sits in a field of gray soil, devoid of vegetation. I hear no buzzing insects. I see no sun or moon, just a dull, sourceless light. A dismal arrival, perhaps, but a welcome one. I broke wine with my brothers and sisters. Today we are saved. The engine has gone quiet now. The worm must have consumed by its own fire. Some merciful part of my soul, so flush with victory and new hope, prays the worm is at peace. Where on earth there would be day and night. Here the light never changes. The gray mist lingers, muting all sound. My followers look to me for answers. They say I am the voice of the engine. Surely I must know what to do. I push for patience and make promises. I already begin to doubt myself. To satisfy the curiosity, I ask for 3 of my bravest to venture out in search of anything. I try and research my family, but Clarence looks at me with only fear and hate. She has walled herself up in the bellied room with Simon. Simone? Why did you name your kids Simone and Simon? Simon stays with me, though. He wishes to go out and see the new world. I refuse him. I will not threaten his life for the sake of knowledge. Even as I write these words, I'm startled by what I see. This world was to be our safe haven. Is it not? Yeah, maybe using the demon engine was a bad idea. The men I sent in the mist have returned. Thanks to the lengths of string I provided them, no vegetation, no animal, no sun, no stars, no civilization. The world is empty and gray. Not hell, like the world we left behind, but limbo. Does that make it better? Day 4. The dreams no longer come. Where before I could scarcely close my eyes without envisioning arcane machinery and prophecies of doom, now my mind is empty. The silence mocks me. The food stores are being rationed. I do everything I can to convince the followers that utopia will come, that it is just a transition. But empty stomachs speak with more conviction than a prophet without a prophecy. A nurse named Eudora seems to have taken it upon herself to stir the hearts of the following, but her sermon's cut short as I approach. She regards me with stony silence until I withdraw. My wife refuses to leave the bedroom on day 5. She does not speak to me, ignores the food I leave for her. I call for Simone, but they do not come out. How have I come to hate my wife? Her spite will not save us. Oh man. These boomers and they're like I mean, I guess it's not a boomer because he was alive prior to the war, so it can't really be a boomer, can it? But wife bad moment. The silent generation? When the fuck did they shut up enough for them to be called that? Two of my younger followers attempted to steal food from the kitchens. They talk of dwindling food stores and mistrust. Strange noises coming from below. Though the great engine no longer turns, if we imprisoned them, the others would have protested. Instead, I go to the others and tell them the young ones have run out into the fog, intending to find answers. Not everyone believes me, including Eudora. Instead, they go back to plotting in quiet. I worry for my flock. Day 6. Now everyone speaks of sounds from below, rattling pipes and grinding gears, though I assure them that the machine has been shut off. To assuage the fears, I sent Danvers and Bertleby. The fuck? Yeah, I haven't seen pronouns outside of they, them for Simone. So I don't know if, like, this guy is, like, weirdly progressive for the 1920s or, like, what's going on. Bertleby. Dude, if you name your child Danvers or Bertleby, you might be British. To investigate. We should hear back from them sometime later tonight or morning. No one questions the fresh meat prepared for dinner. Yeah, don't think about it. My wife is dead. I grew furious at her petulance. I pried open the door with a pickaxe. She had arranged Simone for her bed, and then, damn you, Clarence, you rotten whore. I wanted to save my children. Danvers and Bertleby have not come up, but the grinding noises come every hour now, louder and louder. You know 7 Bertlebys. What the fuck? No, you don't. Bertleby's not a real name. The grinding noises come every hour now, louder and louder. The house shakes around us. I fear the worm may not be as dead as I had hoped. Darkness has finally fallen, and with it came terror that I've never known. Even within the trenches, cold seeps throughout my windows. Strange shadows move in the fog. What I hear, and I hear what sounds like footsteps on the rooftop. A house groans and shakes. The worm struggles. Also another thing you can say when you're about to have sex. The courage of my followers phrase. They want to go home. They want to be free of this horrible horror and this damnable gray purgatory. They've taken Simon. This is day 9. Eudora rallied the 4 followers. She declared that the worm spoke to her in her dreams and that she is the voice now. The worm demands sacrifice, she said. The son of a man who trapped it. I fought them. I fought. I would not let them take my boy. The one thing I have left. There were so many. They had gorged on they had gorged on the flesh of their fellows. I was but one broken man. I'm no savior, no torch in the darkness. I'm just a puppet to my own madness. I feel every action I have taken, every vision, every design I feverishly scrawled on half-remembered nightmares was forced upon me by a cruel intellect that wished to test the limits of my sanity. They have taken Simon below. They will feed him to the worm. Let this be my prayer to the starless night, to a god that may not exist. I will not let him be fed to the worm. I'll hurl myself into its teeth, that my bones might clog its innards, before I let them take my son. I'm sorry, Clarence. Okay, random question, and everyone's be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I've been working on a thing. I need a little help with it. And I know we still got stuff to read, but real quick, all right. Best MILF/DILF in video games. Okay, so I should probably explain this for people who are not around for this. I've been trying to get together a bunch of odd tangent tutorial. So I've been wanting to do like a Family Feud thing with chat, being the people you know, picking stuff. I'm just gonna put Lady D because I don't know how to pronounce or spell her name. Asgore, Bowser, Demescu. There you go. So basically I just need to get the top things in a bunch of different categories. The other ones are what do you do on your day off and most well-known rev streams. Dante from Devil May Cry 5 specifically. Samus? Samus is a MILF? Genova? Mari from Splatoon? She's a fucking child, man. Kratos. I'll give you Kratos. She's like 30 in Splatoon 3. Kiryu? Eggman? Okay, dumbass. That's great. Kiryu is a dad. DILF and MILF energy is like it. You don't actually have to take care of a kid. DILF and MILF means having kids. No, it doesn't. People have said that I'm a DILF. You can't tell me that I'm a DILF when I don't have any children. Rosalina? Bayonetta. Okay. I think we're scratching the bottom of the barrel now. Okay. Hades? Okay, I'll throw Hades in there. Isabelle is not a MILF, you freak. What is fucking wrong with you? Bayonetta is a MILF, despite the fact that she has no children. Okay, we're people are saying stupid shit. I don't even know if Rosalina really counts. You know, in fact, Rosalina, how is Rosalina a MILF? Fuck it. All right, vote on that poll for me, if you will, and I'll keep reading. You only get to pick one. So who is the most MILF DILF out of those? You forgot Ethan Winters? I think we're fine. Ethan Winters didn't come up until after I hit the thing. MILF is similar to Dami Mommy, but different. Right. Because Viper from Valorant isn't a MILF, but she is a Dami Mommy, right? Listen, if you think that Rosalie, I mean, like, when I'm getting the other streamers to do this, it's gonna be based on, you know, what you guys say, and they're gonna know that. Too many people conflate MILFs and cougars nowadays. Samus is a Dami Mommy and not a MILF. Okay. Like, I don't think that Rosalina or Samus should be on that list. Why couldn't you make it multiple choice? I want to get the best of the best at the top of that list. She has a baby. Okay, fine. Rosalina has thousands of kids and infinite years old. What's all this for? I'm doing a thing. I'm gonna get a bunch of streamers for like Family Feud, and so that poll is to try and get one of the Family Feud things. I don't know how many quizzes do they go through on Family Feud. I actually don't know. Anyway, sourcing answers from this chat may make it a little too biased. What they're gonna have to figure out is what my chat thinks is the correct answer to these questions. it literally does not matter how biased that is. That's literally the sample that we're getting. They're gonna know that when they're deciding on their answers. So like it's slightly like how well do they understand y'all. And there's a lot of cross-pollination between like y'all and like my chat and Fred's chat and Mike's chat and Limes' chat. So like not a lot per episode, like 5 or 6. So we need to have like 5 to 10. Okay. So I need to have like 5 to 10 of these. Let's go ahead and rename edit folder. Make 5 to 10. Once we get 5 to 10 of these, I'm gonna have to think up more like questions for y'all. And a lot of episodes also are spent reiterating the rules to contestants every time they're asked to answer. Sure. So we'll go higher than like 5, but 5's the bare minimum for this. Okay. The darkness is finally woken up on day 8. It came with terror I've never known. Even in the trenches, cold seeps through the window. Strange shadows move in the fog. I hear what sounds like footsteps on the rooftop. The house groans and shakes. The worm struggles. The courage of my followers fray. They want to go home. They want to be free of this horror and this gray, damned purgatory. They've taken Simon. Okay, there we go. Day 10. This is where we're at. God, the noise is almost deafening. Wheels turn, pistons hiss, and from the deepest reaches I hear a low, mournful bellow. I brought my journal to give my mind something to focus on as I travel the machine. Looking upon it with my sane eyes, I realize that this maze is no work of logic. The tunnels bend and twist without any reason. The stairwells lead to solid walls and doors open to gaping chasms. The transference to this gray world may have warped the machine, or maybe I never truly saw it for what it was. It just built according to my deranged whims. I have heard and seen nothing of Simon or his captors. Doubtless their steps are guided by the same madness that has abandoned me. Guided with the fluid ease towards the worm's waiting jaws, I hasten my step, but it seemed to be running in blind circles. If nothing else, I have a sturdy lantern and plenty of oil from the work crews that toil down here. Day 11. My day and night are meaningless in this limbo. Down here, there's even less measure to passage of time. My journey has taken me deeper, some kind of processing factory. These automated devices gather gray sand from the bare rock, heat it to sickly-looking glass, fill the created vials with a foul-smelling chemical I cannot identify. Against my better judgment, I crept close to inspect the completed vial, and to my horror, a fully formed set of teeth began to form. Another jar held an eyeball, like nothing found in man or nature. What is the purpose of this factory? For what does it build and for whom? Is this result of my design or some mechanical cancer spread by the worm to twist the machine's function? The quarry seems to be in dispute now. My quarry seems to be in dispute now. I hear them arguing through the ventilation ducts and empty pipes. Eudora has taken my son deeper, leaving the others behind to harass my progress or simply abandoning them to the whims of the worm. I have my pickaxe and my training. I must move with stealth. I've not eaten in nearly 2 days. Still, Eudora's men still carry strips of meat. I also see something odd near the lathe room I have hidden myself within. A painting of exquisite taste. It is a work of a master, but I cannot recall when I purchased it or what possessed me to leave it down here. The image shares a remarkable likeness to Clarence, smiling as in happier times. It casts my thoughts into decades past, when I was a different man, a smaller man, and yet infinitely happier. Can knowledge be so damned? Can knowledge so damn a soul in a universe of cosmic evils that I've witnessed? Is ignorance truly the only bliss that one can enjoy? Day 12. My dreams returned, not of prophecy, but memory. I'm with Simon in the London Museum. He pulls me along, eager to see art and history, the beauty of all created by man and God. I cannot see the beauty. I only see the blood and bloody mud and blackened skies, the ugliness of man and the callous God. Simon walks on without me while I sink into a bench. The day fades to night. I sit in an empty museum of man's atrocities, the last living thing on this cold earth, overwhelmed by the weight of it all. I wait for death or oblivion to take me, whichever could stomach so pitiful a morsel. But instead I feel the presence of another. I feel no light from this being, no warmth, yet I sense that there was as close to God as any being could be. It looks like a man, but there's weight to him, as though something greater and stranger was squeezed into his skin. The child waits and doesn't know why. The gentleman speaks to me. The child grasps, but doesn't know the danger. They burn their fingers, and they know they are not ready. Someday they will be. Someday they will give voice to the soul and sing the essence of the universe. With what gods they will be then? What galaxies will they weave with dreams and care? But now they are children. The children are selfish. They only know what they want. And then when I woke back inside this machine on a gray planet, so far from the world of my memories, it burdens my bones just to think about the inevitability. I was forced myself to stand just the same. Simon cried out. I heard him far below. I called back to him, but I heard no reply. Adora's zealots hound me relentlessly. I fear some horrible change has come over them in casting in their lot with the worm. They speak in slurred reptilian voices or gargle as though choking. And some have even turned on their fellows. As I crept in the darkness, I saw one such rebellion. A man I had tried to lead to paradise fell upon his companion in an argument over faith. I felt the heat of his lifeblood splash across my astonished face. The teeth, gnashing, ripping, so big and sharp like the fangs of a wolf, but also serrated like the blades of a saw. Animal and flesh, but also machine. Weird. Our surroundings have affected by the same mutation. Rooms I do not recognize bleed into the ones one another like spilled paint. An office with plush green chairs merges with a warehouse filled with crates and rattle and bang with some unknown stinking occupant. The ladders descend into pools of viscous liquid that have flooded what appears to be the school. Statues of marble and reliefs of brass decorate the ceilings and form the very walls. Rattling belts spew ammunition into neglected piles. Shells the size of my head clatter to the floor in automated factories, producing the tools of death. I could not have made this. I could not have wanted such devices, and yet here they stand, always shrieking, the tapping of heating and cooling metals, the groan of pressurized hydraulics. I cannot remember what silence sounds like. Day 13 or 14. Adora's followers no longer heed reason. They demented growl and spit and scavenge for food. The ramblings are the stuff of bedlam. Others have become something else, feral, like the lycanthropes of myth. They crawl on all fours, their eyes adjusted to the gloom and shining red, twin pinpoints of demonic light. I can startle them with my lantern, but they always return, trying to surround me from all sides. Hunters they are, as fast as wolves, but their howls are the shriek of tearing metal. Adora's voice haunts me now. It echoes through the network of plumbing, every open ventilation shaft. She announces her glorious attendance of the devotion of the worm, to the worm. I hear true lunacy in her desperate laughter. It ripples through the whole machine as she herself is part of it. I found respite in a room filled with hospital beds, the windows that look out into the abyss. It reminds me of the hospital I woke up from, the war within. I must pry my ways away from the dark, for my mind cannot look into a lightless cavern or a starless void. Lifeblood feels a little overwritten. Yeah. Honestly, But, you know, I mean, like, listen, I think that, like, the overall vibe of this is very solid. I like the idea of a mechanical god. I think that probably, like, I don't know, that vibes with me in a certain way. But yeah, that line was a little silly. It's very poetic to say lifeblood rather than, or life, was it life? Yeah, it was lifeblood, as opposed to other blood, like death blood, or like, I don't know, non-functional blood? Is this fifithism? I haven't heard of that. Deathblood sounds awesome. Dude, Deathblood would be a fucking great thrash band name. I found Adora, pursued by her followers. It was man-made monsters. I came upon the cathedral made from pipe organs. Organ pipes, marble, and the very flesh and bones of Adora herself. I can now see how she speaks to me through the pipes, for her body has become torn asunder and stitched upon it. Her organs are pulled straight and taut to the hanging, tangled plumbing. Her skin stretched and inflated with gases, her blood sizzling and streaming from the hydraulics. Only her head remains whole. Wide-eyed and cackling, seated from the pulpit of this temple to dementia, the monsters refuse to set foot into this hallowed ground, so I alone approached to speak with her. I demand my son's return, but she spat her own broken teeth at me and said that he had been taken by the worm, delivered to the heart of the machine where its mouth sat waiting. Furious, I fell upon her with vengeance, tearing what remained of her body from the brass organs around her. She died screaming, and at last was quiet. But then the great bellow erupted from the machine. A new voice spoke to me through the mangled organ. I am what you made me. And then I am now. I am the choice, I am tyranny, I am evil, I am flesh, I am beauty, I am chaos, I am the worm. Cuckoo Cachoo. Stricken, I fell to the bloodstained floor and wept, cowering, screaming, not because of the words it spoke, but that they were spoken in my voice. At last, I beheld the truth I had tried to bury so deep. The worm, the machine, the madness that guided my hands was me. I am the worm. I do not know what compelled me to stand. I do not feel hope. I do not feel despair. Like an automaton, I could only move forward to face revelation. Day, who fucking knows? I came upon the core of my great machine. I found my son. The machine was not a weapon to trap the worm. It was not an ark to carry us to salvation. I had sought to exile myself from a monstrous existence, and in my cowardice and fear, I became a monster. I became the worm. I built a shell to hide within, an engine to spirit me away from pain, the despair that had claimed my sanity, to abandon creation in God's cold distance. But it would not run without a catalyst. Simon. What happened to Simone? So full of hope and faith, so full of love and dreams, how I envied your strength, how I envied your ignorance. I yearned to wrap myself in the goodness and hide from the world. I threw the switch of the great machine and I drank the heart blood from your lifeless body, pumping it into every pipe and piston. I believed your love would carry us to paradise, but it was tainted by my madness, by the act of murder. I dreamed of peace. It brought me to an unchanged limbo. I demanded parasite, but it only deserved perdition. And I was so horrified by what had been done to you that I could not bear to face it. As I spoke as if you were there with me, smiled as though you could see me. When Clarence realized what I had done, what I was, she took Simone away before I sought her out as well. This place is filled with your memories, Simon. Is this like a typo thing where it keeps going Simone and Simon? They're the tattered shreds of love you have for me? Or are they here to taunt and punish me? It's not the same person. It's two different people. It's a son and a daughter. Okay. He just named both of his kids the same name. So that's fucking annoying. I guess that's a thing you could do. Alright. Are they the last tattered shreds of love you have for me? Or are they here to taunt and punish me, as the man-beast that stalked the hallways surely must be? I do not know if any of you can forgive me, but I only know that I have promised to save my son. I have promised to slay the worm. I leave this journal behind in hopes that someday, somehow, someone will know what I did. And remember the men and women I damned for my selfishness, my fear. I hurl myself into its teeth, that my bones might clog its innards. I am the worm. The Ouroboros must eat itself. What the fuck did you do? That was cool. I don't get what happened. It's almost like the embodiment of war as a concept is the worm. And so he did a thing. I don't quite understand what happened in the basement, but he built a machine to contain the worm. It sounds like he just made a war machine that makes worms, like makes war, makes like fanatical weird metallic freaks with like razor blades for teeth, and makes guns. It's the war worm. It's literally the war machine. Yeah, exactly. This is very this reminds me a lot of like stuff about daemon engines in Warhammer. This is the kind of shit they do where they just have like someone strung up like by the skin. And just being like eaten or tortured. All right, I want to see what the results of this are. Rosalina gets in the top 5 over Bayonetta? You fucking me, y'all? The best MILF and DILF in games. Right. Average local Warhammer guy. Guy who's only read Warhammer. I get Toril. I get that. That's fine. Bowser as well. Bayonetta doesn't need to have kids to be a MILF. You don't need to have kids to be a MILF or a DILF. Separate the MILF and DILF forms? I mean, like, I feel like that's kind of... I don't know. What does MILF mean? My increasingly large... fucker. Why would Bayonetta be a MILF then? Why not? I don't think you need to be able to take care of kids well to be a MILF. No one voting for DILFs? DILF got second place, man. PILFs, where P stands for parent, for non-binary representation. I have not seen that yet. You know? I know what DILFs and MILFs look like. I haven't seen what a PILF looks like. PILF. Pepsi I'd like to fuck. We don't want dommy mommies. We just someone who can be nice and give us hugs. That's Rosalina. I can't think of a single non-binary PILF. Be the fucking change you want to be in the world. If you're like, what do I fucking do with myself? What is the point of my life? If you are non-binary, be a PILF. Be the example that we can be like, oh yeah, a pilf, like that person. All right, anyway. Let's leave like, Sprite equals Sprite plus vinegar. Okay, that's weird and recursive, but sure. Anyway. This one is just called Cat. Why don't we read this and then I'll probably drop it for the night, because bad gateway. Was there a reason for that? Oh, there we go. Oh, well, this one's really short. SCP-529, safe. No special precautions have yet proven necessary. Josie is quite affectionate, and at this stage is free to move around the lower levels of the facility. Staff are not permitted to feed cheese to her. She will become distressed if not given sufficient cheese. SCP-529 is a small house cat with gray tabby markings. Parts of the animal to the rear end of the ribcage appear to be missing. The body terminates sharply as if sliced in two. In spite of this, the animal has no health problems and moves around as if its hindquarters were still in place. For example, walking takes place as usual, and sometimes after feeding, the animal makes motions as if to void itself of waste matter. The cross-section does not display any interior to the animal, but appears black to the eye and absorbs all non-visible wavelengths of light. It's slightly yielding to the touch. Gentle stroking of this area sometimes yields a positive reaction, purring and so on, but usually leads to the creature turning on the agent, claws at the ready. These scratches have experienced no abnormalities. Hind regions do not appear to be invisible. Curiosity examination will show that there are no hind corners. DNA testing has shown the animal to be female. Aren't like tabbies more likely to be girls anyway? That's calicos. Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, that one was way too short, so we're going to read another one. Yeah, it's like a weird genetic thing where like calicos are more likely than not to be female. And it's like, why is that? Listen, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a YouTuber. I have no fucking idea about anything ever. Yeah, that was it. That was it with the cat. I mean, that's kind of great. It's just a cat. Like a weird fucking cat. It's like awesome. Holy shit, this is a long one. Okay, well, this is a good one to end on. Because the calico patterns are XX linked. Alright. Also, like, I don't know if you guys can see it. Here, let me just open this in a new... Okay. So, like... Listen. I don't have an issue with this. I'm just confused on why it's here. Why does the SCP organization have a pride flag? Like, they don't seem like a particularly progressive organization. I guess it's because, like, you know, it's fictional, but like, yeah. Is this some Pride Month shit? SCP likes to do rainbow capitalism. Oh, okay, that's fine. What are all these symbols? Well, you see, I don't fucking know. Diversity win. The SCP that snapped your neck is gay. Gay people need to be secured, contained, and protected. There are gay SCPs? I mean, sure? An actual IRL schism happened because of the pride flag. like for roleplay reasons it's a little confusing. For like creative writing project reasons it's cool to have. I feel like that this is also probably this is a gay SCP, I think. Oh, okay. We'll give it a go. 5520. Containment of 5520 is unnecessary at present. Archon class object cannot be contained, but should not be. Can be contained, but should not be. I see. Should containment become necessary, sundown protocol must be initiated. Lake Huron bulkhead gates will be flooded, flooding acromatic abasement facility AAF-W. This will activate an expanding foam seeded into the facility, sealing it. Scranton reality anchors will be strategically placed to direct the growth of AAF-W away from Site 43, the bed of Lake Huron and its surface. The access to AAF-W is prohibited. Update. Sundown Protocol may only be enacted by Overwatch Command except for under emergency circumstances. Rescinded containment procedures. Sundown Protocol may only be enacted by Director of Site 43. SCP-5520 is the former SCP Foundation senior researcher and provincial site co-director Dr. Wynne Ruderick. SCP-5520 is a Class 3 reality bender as a result of long-term exposure to esoteric materials. This seems like a thing that keeps happening. Like, we keep having, like, weird freaks that are just like, oh, well, this guy used to work here, but now we put him in a cage. So it's Amazon. Kind of fucked up. Yeah, basically you get infected by enough, like, you hang out with enough weird fucked up shit, and then you become a fucked up shit. Just, you know, okay, fair enough. SCP-5520 presently resides in a series of vast caverns and refineries located beneath Site 43, classified former site director Dr. V. Leslie Scout. Although the facilities themselves exhibit no anomalous properties, their scale, their location, and activities performed there do. Okay, we're just gonna know a lot about. Okay, I don't actually care about Site 43. Both manual and automatic cave surveying techniques have been unable to determine the precise extent of AAF-W, but the best estimates suggest over 2 million cubic meters of interior space. Breathable oxygen per atmosphere pervades throughout, presumably as a result of SCP-5520's activities. Addendum 5520-1 Phenomenological overview. Did I miss the cat? Yeah, there was a cat one. Here, let me pull up the cat one. It's pretty good. There's nothing really weird with it. It kind of reminds me of Koshak. Yeah, you want to come see it? You can come in. Also, there's a cat in here. Like, Herman's in here. Hi, the boy. It's a cute cat. SCP-529. Nothing like actually wrong with this cat.
How did you get in here?
I don't know. He was in here when I set up for stream, and he just wanted to sit in his boy spot. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, this is SCP-529. It's just a cat.
Why is there only half a cat?
That's what's weird with it. It's like totally fine otherwise. It walks around like normal. Like as if it does have a back half, but it just doesn't. It has a specific thing about staff are not permitted to feed cheese to her. She will become distressed if not given enough cheese. So that's one of the special containment procedures. Is like you're not allowed to give it cheese. But it's basically just a cat, but just you can't see the back half of it. It's not invisible. It just like exists somewhere else.
I see. So somewhere in a different universe, it's just a
back half of a cat. I mean, the front half of the cat is really the good part.
yeah, it's weird.
It is, but it's cute. Like that's a cute cat.
Somebody asked why we named
Herman from Herman or from the Monsters. Yeah.
There he is.
There's the boy.
What are you doing?
He laid on top of me the whole time. I was like,
Hi, buddy. What do you think?
I was trying to lay down.
What you think, buddy?
We have weighted blankets, and he likes to lay on top of me while I'm laying under the weighted blanket, so I call him the weighted boy. Usually is. Oh yeah, would you mind? Wait, where's the remote for that? I don't know as if it still exists. It does, I guess, but it's somewhere else. Thank you.
Alright, come on, buddy.
And then take this one.
Come on. Gotta do a lap. Come on.
Alright, so Addendum 5520. Love you. From 1915 to 1966, Dr. Winrise Riddick headed the SCP Foundation's effort to manage the toxic materials generated by the catalog of anomalous objects. His achromatic abatement group moved to Vienna, Austria to Provisional Site 43 in Canada in 1943. He became co-director with Dr. Vivian Leslie Scout, was applied occultism and achromatic abatement sections of the site became under his direction. Foremost facilities studying and neutralizing esoteric effluence on Earth. When Site 43 became upgraded to provisional status in 1965, Dr. Scout became the site director with his partner's sponsorship. What the fuck did I just read? Dr. Riddick disappeared from Site 43 on the 14th of November, 1966. After 51 years of employment, security and containment sections agents searched his dedicated research laboratory and achromatic abatement facility, AAF-A, and found it significantly altered and its 43 staff members absent. Dr. Ritterock notes revealing dozens of conflicting, frequently incoherent and unintelligible programs of research suggesting that his disappointments had been voluntary. The entire site was immediately placed on alert. Dr. Scout ordered the pursuit and suppression section to investigate further the facility further. Also, how many, like, I mean, I know we've got all these new containment classes and stuff like that, but like, is it really necessary to have this many different classifications for fucked up shit? Like, can you put it in a box? Will it kill you? That's all I need to know. Like, how likely is it gonna, like, break out? And does it want to break out? Do we need to keep track of it? Yeah, I want to do more Town of Nowhere. I haven't gotten around to doing some of it. Yeah, maybe like a separate category for things that are safe if left alone versus things that are breach security easily, you know? All right. Date 11/14/1966. Mobile Task Force Delta 43 pit bosses. Team lead Captain Garthy Kinsey, Delta 1. Team members Delta 2, 5, 6, 7, and 9. I don't know if they're supposed to be negatives, but I think they're Delta 2, Delta 5, Delta 6, Delta 7, Delta 9. Archon is a designation for something you can put in a box but shouldn't. Gotcha. Log begins. Control, describe your surroundings, please. Roger, we're standing at AAF-A in what should be the sub-basement level. Blueprints from the janitorial and maintenance say this is as low as it goes, and there's considerably more pipes on the walls here than the schematic shows. Some of them don't look right. Elaborate. Can't be sure without touching them, but at least some of these look like they're made out of bone and maybe porcelain. Bone china, maybe? Hey, cut the chatter. There's an open door leading to a stairwell at the end of the hall. You're in, right? Correct. Control, no door or stairway on the blueprints. Proceed down with extreme caution, Captain. Roger. Delta 43, proceeding to the next level of the facility without incident. Oh, what the hell? Elaborate. The door at the bottom of the stairs is open, Control. It opens to a glass-walled tunnel. I can see cave walls outside the glass, illuminated by, I don't know, illuminated. Proceed and narrate. It's definitely a connecting tunnel. There's a large open door at the end. I can see a very large cave system outside the tunnel. Very, very large. Delta 43 enters the adjourning facility. Damn strange. Delta 2? This place looks like... I've seen photographs of the archives and revisions of AAF-A in the 40s. During the war, when they were building this place, that's where we're standing now. You just left AAF-A, Delta 2. No, sir. We just left the present day version. I'm telling you that this is AAF-A as it used to look 20 years ago. Understood? Please proceed. Hold up. Report. We found a few of Dr. Riddick's researchers. They're examining some pipes and taking notes. Approach them with caution. Roger. Hey, identify yourselves. Hey there. No response, Control. Understood. Proceed. Delta 43 moves through the 5 sublevels of the new facility. We're reaching a new door in the same position as the door in the present day AAF-A. The door is closed, Control. Understood. Can you open it? Doesn't seem to be locked. Take a look. Roger. Loud metal squeaking, then silence recording. Oh. What do you see, Delta 1? Oh, good lord. Copy, Control. We see what appears to be a ravine. An underground ravine. I can't begin to speculate the depth. There are structures at the bottom, structures on the walls as well. They look like a natural cave system, but augmented with artificial construction, consistent with the alterations to AAF-A we've already seen. It looks like someone took 10 factories inside out and stacked them. Copy, Delta 5. Would you say that this ravine and the contents are larger than AAF-A Delta 1? I would say that this ravine and its contents are larger than Site 43, Control. What the fuck are you talking about? So it's like fractal different times of the same place? Like every time you get to the bottom, there's another version of it at a different time. Dr. Scout recalled Delta 43 to the AAF-A to regroup and plan further investigations. The research personnel encountered in the parallel facility were not re-encountered. Identity and typocryptography section has recently completed the installation of an experimental site-wide computer system with rudimentary command line interference. The Site 43 Information Network, InfoNet. When Delta 43 returned to Dr. Riddick's office, they discovered that his networked printer had produced the following message for Dr. Scout. Vivian, I blame the comic books. I started reading them as a middle-aged man, something frivolous to take my mind off the intoxicants and virulence and threshold limits of values. Something fantastical. I do some of my best work when I'm distracted. So many of these old superheroes were scientists, just like us. They got their superpowers because something stupid but scientific happened to them. Jerry Garrick inhaled heavy water vapor, and instead of gaining nothing, he gained super speed. Rex Tyler created 1 hour strength pill and started pocketing them like an addict. Ted Knight was found the cure for gravity and he used to fly around to beat people up. My idiotic idols. Are these real superheroes that I just don't know of, or are they like fake ones for copyright reasons? Sound fake? Jay Garrick was the OG Flash. I mean, that sounds right. The Bronze Age of superheroes was whacked out. Okay. I swear, Viv, I didn't intentionally expose myself to esoteric materials, but then again, neither did the Flash. Okay, could have led one more sentence. There were accidents, of course. Even back in Europe, a drop here, shattered cask there, an accidental exposure every once in a while. I thought nothing of it while my pants started staying up without a belt, or I stayed warm in cold weather, or I didn't need to use the washroom unless I thought about it. Just getting fat and hot and slow and absent-minded, I thought. Now, of course, I know it was just some maintenance of my old self-image. Sometimes I'd wake up sweating in the middle of the night, and I'd find myself wearing a three-piece suit and tie. Sometimes I'd look into the mirror and I'd see hair was red again. Red like it hasn't been since the Great War. Once, only once, I had a long telephone conversation with my wife without remembering to dial out of the facility, or remembering that she's dead. I know that what this is, and you do too. I'm Dr. Fate. I'm bending reality to my knee. Things turn out the way that I want them to, or the way that I think they should be. I'm starting to be able to direct it now, which scares the ever-living you-know-what out of me. You can say shit, it's okay. You know how we've made such great strides in the past months? How our experiments have turned out perfectly? That's because I've wanted them to. I've willed them to. Where there's a will, there's a way. But you don't have to will to put it in a cage. You don't have to have the will to be put in a cage. You don't have a way of fixing what's wrong with me without putting me in a cage. So at the risk of belaboring the metaphor, I have to go away. I hope I'll be back soon, but in the meantime, keep in touch. Do you remember what I told you about the lake, Vivian? Now's the time. I'm counting on you. Scroll, please. I'm sorry. I don't know where the capture region is specifically without guessing. Let's see. What is the bottommost word that you can see? Can't see that. Okay, so it's exactly to here. Okay. I got an idea. There we go. You can't see the calculator anymore, right? Oh, that doesn't work. Okay. Do I have like a sticky note I can use? You never were able to see that calculator, could you? Because it's not the window. Got it. Right. I have to do a screen capture in order for you to see that. Right, if I just put a sticky note right here, where you guys can see, or like the end of your vision ends, then it'll kind of cover up what I can read, and I'll have to scroll down in order to get. Okay, there we go. We got a system. All right. The IT technicians reported that a terminal in Dr. Riddick's study, our office, was now networked with a printer at an unknown location. After consultation with the security and containment section, Dr. Scout began correspondence with Dr. Riddick via terminals and printers. Dr. Scout, would you please return to the site? We can help you. No, you can't, but I can help you from down here. We got the finest doctors in the world on our side, Win. Precisely. The finest doctors in the world can't stop what's been happening to me. I'm a toxicologist, Vivian. I've done the research. You're a toxicologist too, so please don't lie to me. Think of your staff, Ren. Is this what they wanted? My staff don't exist. What? My staff don't exist. I invented them. The whole department was just filled with phantoms I imagined into existence. I'm now imagining them down here. Now check your employment histories. You'll see what I mean. You know why there are 43 of them? So I wouldn't forget how many there were. I called down the investigation on my head. And called down and... Oh, right. Because it's Site 43. Interesting. I've had this condition for a long time now. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. We can fix this together, Rin, you and I. Do you want to keep repeating my name? Do you think I don't... Why do you keep repeating my name? Do you think I don't know who I am? I don't want you to see me like this. It's better if you stay down, if I stay down here. What do you expect me to do? Let you hide underground until you suffocate or starve to death? I expect you to be a scientist and let me alone to do my work. I'm close to a breakthrough now. Very close. Just at the end of this extended research sabbatical, and I'll be as good as new before long. Now who's lying, Win? When? Dr. Riddick was subsequently classified as SCP-520. The file uses present-day 5520 classification. The appended documentation is amended to reflect this. Is there a SCP-520? That would be the first series, right? Knife switch. Okay. Is this the knife box? Okay, well, whatever. Dr. Riddick was subsequently classified as 520. The file uses a present-day 5520 classification, and appended documentation is amended to reflect this. Duplication of AAF-A was thoroughly examined over the next 14 months, revealing that, like the original, had fallen out of use, and was determined that SCP-5520 and his Phantom staff had moved into a larger facility in the caverns, which had then been expanded twofold. As SCP-5520 had not corresponded with Site-43 at all during this period, Dr. Scout instructed pursuit and suppression to rappel down the larger structure designated AAF-W and investigate it. A partial transcript of their exploration appended below. Same guys as before. Well, that was hair-raising. Thank God for winches. What do you see, Delta One? There's a skyscraper of machinery, gantries, pipes, tanks, chimneys, and such protruding from the floor. Cave scraper, a cave ceiling scraper. Must mean one of the biggest buildings in the county or country. Control. Certainly the biggest thing underground. Understood. Begin your exploration. Except for my cock. First section of the facility resembles our Archematic Abatement Group laboratory in Vienna. The Phantom researchers are absent. Second section of the facility is unfamiliar to the agents. I don't think this is built in any existing facilities. The walls are orange. Stand by, Scout. Or stand by. Dr. Scout is joining us. Roger. You said orange walls, Delta One? That's correct, Doctor. With a gray stripe down the middle? That's absolutely correct, Doctor. Somewhere you both been? Satoxlev from Cardiff. We studied together. Did it have fluorescent lights when you were there, sir, in the 1910s? Well, when the subject might not be himself right now. Keep that in mind. Meet the fucker Delta 43. Turn down the corridor into a large room filled with shining copper pipes. SCP-5520 is standing in the middle of the room, pointing at each pipe and nodding. His face turns towards the agents as they enter the room. He begins to weep. Is Twitter not working for anyone else? Twitter is down, is trending. So it turns out, yeah. No, it's not working right now. That's probably for the best. I find that 5 seconds on Twitter is like 5 minutes off my life. It's like, it's not good, man. Twitter is sort of working right now. It's like the trending tag is working, but like my homepage is not. It loads otherwise. Can't log in. I would recommend not trying to log in right now. There's some weird shit going on. Elon is just switching off random servers to see if anyone notices. He did say he was doing that. So, I mean, you could probably just ask engineers, but if you think you're the smartest man in the world, why ask someone else for them to explain a situation to you? You should rediscover it, you know? Like, go Christopher Columbus on the fucking, like, grocery store, you know? I really feel like the, like, turn things off and see what happens way of doing things is probably not the best way of doing it. I don't remember today. I won't remember tomorrow. Tomorrow, I don't even remember today. Tomorrow, today. Eyes on target, Control. Was he a friend of yours? Oh. Oh. He's unharmed, Control. He looks a little shaken. Nothing bad. Bring him in, Delta 1. Roger. Doctor... Sometimes I get confused. Sometimes, Dr. Riddick, can you come with us? Oh, I'm sorry. That was my fault. Was that my fault? I'm sorry. You're not making any sense. One of the pipes began to vibrate intensely. The sound is deafening. 5520 is nonetheless audible. Where did he go? Delta 5 reaches out to the pipe. When his hand touches it, he disappears. Oh, I wouldn't touch that. The sound ceases. Recording ends. 5 remaining members of Delta 43 were subsequently returned by 5520 through unknown means to AAF-A. A message was already waiting for Dr. Scout and Dr. Riddick's office. Riddick? Is it Riddick? Vivian, I'm sorry about your man. You won't be seeing him again. I've connected my facility to AAF-A. Please send any new substances down the pipeline to me. I'll see what I can do with them. Why would we do that? You're not a Foundation researcher anymore. You're a SCP object. That's a good approach to take. I've seeded the facility walls with a compound that will expand and fill its container, immobilizing anything it touches and anesthetizing humans. It's water activated, so all you have to do is open a floodgate to my cavern and you'll be rid of me. Oh yes, the cavern has floodgates now. I hope the underwater panthers won't mind. Okay, so there's underwater panthers. We don't have time to get into that, but that's a thing that exists apparently. These were their tunnels. Did you know that? They used them to travel between the lakes. I'm sure you won't be surprised to hear that there's literally nothing in the oral histories, in those oral histories was wrong. No response. I suppose I can't blame you. So you have a special containment procedures for me now. We'll call that our framework for working relationship. Take my proposal to O5 and the ethics committee. Let them handle it. We both know you're too close to this issue. Good work goes on, Vivian. It must. By order of the O5 Council, Site 43 employed SCP-5520 from this point forward as a consultant researcher. Though Dr. Scout objected strongly to the practice, he agreed to remain SCP's 5520's point of contact. Foundation began sending problematic substances to AAF-W. Geological measurements indicated that the artificial complex grew at a slow but steady rate every day for the next 3 decades. The efficiency of Site 43's facilities improved at a commiserable rate. SCP-5520 delivered ad hoc research papers and chemical formulations to the Foundation via printer in his former office. Partial digest of correspondence between Dr. Scout and SCP-5520 is reproduced below. Alright, we're sending you something caustic now. Finally coming down for a visit? I've missed you. Burn! I'll tell the security and containment that you've still got your sense of humor. Maybe it'll put them at ease. In any event, please see what you can do with this stuff. If we ameliorate it, we can lock up the object creating it for good. I'll take a look, but my sympathies are with the object for obvious reasons. How you holding up down there? Developed a method for stripping the human body of its mucous membrane. What? Why? That's not what you're supposed to be working on. I'm going to cure Kara and the common cold. The mucous membrane keeps us from getting sick, Rin. Oh. But you know that, right? Of course I do. I was just joking. To put you all at ease, remember? We can't make sense of any of the data you're sending us. It's elementary enzyme design, Vivian. We haven't invented enzyme design yet, Win. Oh, well then, let me know when you have. Stop it. Stop what, Win? Stop flushing your goddamn toys on me, whoever you are. Are you there? I'm sorry about the last time. I got a little confused. Well, we're looking on that problem for you. Is there anything else you need? How are the floodgates doing? The floodgates are fine. Maybe you should test them. What do you mean? When? What do you mean? I'm sending you chemical equations for synthesis outline for a new antipsychotic developed at Site 14 or 19. What the fuck? It will completely suppress your mind-bending, reality-bending symptoms. I want you to make it, and then I want you to take it, and I want you to come back home. Vivian, what a clever formula. Thank you for sending this to me. It's right up my alley. I'm sending you a list of chemical and procedural improvements for shots. Should work much faster now. But did you take it, Win? This is what you wanted, isn't it? What do you mean? I know who you are. I know what you did. You put me here. You're keeping me here. You want me here. Out of the way. You went down there on your own. I want you to come home. Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I don't understand? I hope you never forget what you did to me. I hope you never forget what you're doing to me. Vivian? Where are you? Vivian? I'm sorry. Oh boy, sweetheart. I have no idea. I've got just a little bit left. So I'm almost done, honey. Be thinking about it, and I'll get to you in just a minute. So as far as I figure, this guy realizes that he's got fucked up superpowers and has barricaded himself into the basement of this place and is using his superhero powers to keep everyone out of this area. And they're just like, well, he's kind of fucking weird, but I guess we can contain him by just like hiring him. And he's super smart and can make reality bend to his whim. A lot of that he's been using in really bizarre ways. He's not been keeping up with containment the way they want him to, but they can't really contain him in any way that matters. So it's kind of just up to him. Like, at this point, Dr. Scout reiterated his opposition to the project and refused to participate any further. 55220 continued to transmit regular commentary on its activities to I and T and respond to all inquiries, apparently unaware most of the time of Dr. Scout's departure. Partial digest follows. Does chirality exist, Vivian? This is a serious question. Does chirality exist, or is it something I made up? This is a serious question. I don't remember my eyes. Where are you, Vivian? Why aren't you here? Please find attached 500 pages of toxidrome reports. Why does it ever rain down here, Vivian? It should rain down here. I need it to rain down here. Yesterday I cured cancer. Today I can't remember how. Unless I'm imagining curing cancer yesterday, or imagining I've forgotten how, or imagining cancer, or imagining yesterday, or imagining today, or... Huh. He's having a real one. Please find attached one page of words. They're the right ones. I've drawn up new manuals for AAF-C, Vivian. Please make sure you follow them to the letter. We don't want to build a facility 20 years ago. Please make sure you follow them to the letter when we build the facility 20 years ago. You don't want a repeat of what I just thought about. I know you're not Vivian. Addendum 5520-2 Incident Summary. On February 1996, Dr. V. Leslie Scott attempted to enact Sundown Protocol and decommission 5520. Safeguards installed under 05 instructions prevented this act, but Dr. Scout was summoned to Site 01 for immediate questioning. A partial transcript interview with the 05-8 with O5-8, so just one of the O5 Council, is appended below. Please help me understand why you did what you did. He gave his life to us from start to finish. It was good work. I owe him this courtesy. What you call a courtesy, I might call execution. His life is not finished. With respect, sir, you mean you aren't finished with his life. We're not talking about someone's abandoned grandfather who just needs his loved ones to visit him to brighten his day. Did you give the fucking superhero Alzheimer's? We're talking about someone who's completely alone and out of his mind for nearly 30 years. Most of Win Redrix is gone. What is left is crying for help, and we're not listening. I've asked you time and time again to let me bring him back up here, to let me see if I can help him. He might never be the same, but at least he wouldn't be alone. You could live a real human life in the light. It would be brilliant. He would still be brilliant, and he would still be Win. We could manage his condition, but you refuse me. Time and time again, I've come to realize that you're never going to let him get better. You're going to keep him sick in the dark for all eternity so you can benefit from his sickness. He bended reality so much he forgot what reality was. That's not good. We are perpetuating a falsehood through anomalous means because it's convenient for us, not the foundation I or he signed up for. Or work for or built, if you please. You're one to talk about anomalous perpetration. How old are you, Mr. Baggins? 11, isn't it? I'm still myself. Win is not. By his own metrics, he left scientific instructions for me on the matter, and his wishes are the only ones that should count. It's his life. He should put in his hands. He trusted me as his friend and as his partner. I have accessed the info net feed, and what I've seen of Riddick is saying just sounds to me like just last week he asked you to look in on Ashley. That doesn't sound like someone who's disassociating to me. Do you know who Ashley is, sir? No, and I don't see why it matters. Is it his daughter? His cat? His brother? Sir, his dead brother, hit by a bus in the London blackout of 1918. He's suffering, and we're letting him suffer because keeping him apart. And we're letting him suffer, keeping him apart because he's useful to us. And you know what he wants. You've seen the feed. You've seen him begging for it, but then you don't care. This isn't about him. This is about you. You want to hear that from Win? Actually, Win. Thoughts about this? Dr. Scout pulls out a folded yellow sheaf of paper from his suit. Let me read this to you. What is it? It's a letter he wrote. He asked that I open it if he ever became compromised. He gave it to me the last time we went topside together. The day that the site became official. The date of April 1965. I opened it 30 days ago. Fine. What does it say? Vivian, I'm so pleased I got to see the lake one last time and share that moment with you, as myself before. Before what's going to happen to me. I know that it's going to be difficult to understand, but I have to go away. I'm a danger to you, the site, and maybe even myself. I've tried to hide it, I've tried to control it, but I'm losing my grip, and it's better for everyone that I just disappear for a while. Pogbot's like, yeah, let's go! Reality bent dementia. Yes! Yes! Anyway. So you'll understand if you're not seeing me or hearing or down in the dark. So you'll need to, you'll do what needs to be done, as you always have done, and we used to do together. Remember what you used to say, Cardiff? You know, we've moved on the magic words and musty, dead old things, but I'm sure you haven't forgotten. The magic in these words, too. We are chemistry and electricity. That and nothing else. You and I are the sums of our electrochemical reactions. Electricity is the fire that is our conscious selves, and chemistry, the beating of our hearts. The wet, sparking computers in our head are the most powerful thinking, feeling machines in existence, more complicated than anything we can devise, more points of failure than any bridge, airplane, in any equation, and they break down in the end, and so do we. The ephemerality is part of the magic. The fire goes out, and the heart stops beating. Sometimes the fire goes first. We lose ourselves. We become not ourselves. Every human being has the right to decide where to draw that line for themselves personally. You know, full where I draw it. Words have power, Vivian, but chemistry is power. If you change the chemistry, you change who you are. And it doesn't take much. Yours very truly, Win. Silence on the recording. Is that all, Dr. Scout? Yes, sir. We'll take it under advisement. Thank you, sir. INT continued to correspond regularly with 5520 under O5 direction, and Dr. Scout resigned from the SCP Foundation on April 1st of 1996. Colleagues, per your offer of employment dated April 1st, 1915, I must respectfully retroactively decline. You are not who I thought you were, or perhaps I am no longer who I thought I was. You may keep your secrets or benefit from them. You may not do both. If you continue to profit from the madness of our friend, you'll find it impossible to hide him. The truth will be out. I should like to see the lake again. He retired to the town of Grand Bend within the limits of Nexus 94, succumbing to advanced old age 1 year later. The following message was received by SCP-5520 the same day. Vivian, the sun sets for you, but never for me. I look forward to seeing you yesterday. For today, the work goes on. Oof. Wow. Well, that was depressing. Fuck. All right. But I do think that that's where I'm going to stop for now. I hope you enjoyed it. I think I'm going to take tomorrow off because, oh, be sure to check the email at the bottom. I didn't even think of that. What is this? Oh my god, there's more. Okay, hold up. 2058 from Eileen Veskar, December 23rd, 2000. We're ready to announce Project Rhetoric. This cover should address the security and ethics concern identified by Dr. Scout, allowing us to capitalize on the SCP-5520 asset indefinitely. Communication personnel assigned to the project will be rotated out regularly to prevent creation of an empathetic bond and mesticized. With your approval, the following message will be released to 43net on New Year's Day. Attention all sections. Welcome to the new millennium. The identity and techno-cryptography section is now accepting research-related queries for submission. Its quantum supercomputer, Dr. Rhetoric, SCP-5520. Contact Research Associate Lyle Littlehammer via 43net to apply. INT will not allow users directly access to Dr. Rhetoric feed. Its artificial intelligence algorithms are extraordinarily complex and results often require significant interpretation by trained personnel. Wow, so they're just treating him like a computer now. P.S. We've tried to modify the network and the printer to filter out occurrences of Vivian and Viv in incoming messages, but no luck so far. I'll retype each printout myself before passing it on to my staff. Wow. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, like, listen, like, the rainbow flag thing on the SCP logo is, I mean, you guys can't really see it because the way the screen's cropped, but, like, it's good as a, like, for the authors, the artists, the people who make these, but it seems weird as an in-universe thing. Also, another weird in-universe thing, the way these load is very fancy. I feel like that this should be less fancy. Like, this is something that, this is very like Web 3.0 or whatever. Like, I feel like a giant secret organization should probably have very clinical, boring ways of writing things up. This seems fine to me. Like, look at this. It's item number, what it does. It's got the name, the classification, it's got a description, a small little picture, and that's it. Like, this feels very over-designed to me. It's like that because it's loading from the doctor's brain. I don't think so. The guy running right now wants his fantasy shit. Oh, wait, hold up. Are you right? Oh, it doesn't do the load thing on that one. I'm just flipping through random ones. Oh, no, this one does it too. You guys say Vinny. I was thinking, Lewis from the Ogscast? Like, if he got long hair? Post Minecraft Lewis, sure. Like, yeah, he looks vaguely familiar, you know? He kind of looks like that, anyway. Anomalous class seems redundant. It does. Catholic instead of Italian critical, I guess. I don't know. Some of the newer ones are weird, but I did like the cat. I like the cat. The cat was good. The let's make a supercomputer after a guy with superpowers and like all that kind of stuff. That's weird. I'm gonna turn off the music. Oh, I thought you said that Catholic was a new SCP type. Why wouldn't it be? Fuck it. Anyway. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and go for now. I'm gonna see you guys on Friday. Oh, Dimaz, thank you for the 5 gift subs. I don't think the new ones are bad. I think it's just like, you know, I still haven't cleared off all the bad. Like with the other, like the older series, I'm used to them, and I know which ones to avoid and which ones are shit. I haven't gotten there with this yet, so I'm finding a lot of shitty ones, and it just feels like there's more shit ones, but I don't think they're actually bad. You know, some of them are over designed. There's a lot of I don't know. Interesting. Anyway, so yeah, I'll be back on Friday with, in the very least, the first stream of Killer 7. I don't know what else I'm doing that day, but, yeah. So if you want to see that, that's when I'll be there. I will start it probably a little bit. I mean, how long is that game? Killer 7, how long to beat? 13 and a half hours. Okay, so if I spend... I could probably beat it in about, like, maybe 3 or 4 streams. So we'll do it on, like, Fridays, because there's some sort of Friday meme. I'll start it around, like, a little bit before 5. Check out the game suggestion channel when you have the time. There's some neat free game content in there. I got a whole bunch of games from Ego that I should do, including Among Us and Hover, which I should probably do. But in fact, I should probably start installing those. I mean, like, you know, the big installs. But anyway. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you guys later. Burp.